Hello, yes, good afternoon. My name is Makoma Enelico, and I would like to answer a few questions in this video. Many nurses have been contacting me, and they've been asking a number of questions. For example, how can I prepare for the NCLEX exams? Then how much is required, and the steps for preparing for the NCLEX exams. Personally, I wrote the NCLEX exam from South Africa in 2022, and I passed at 75 questions. NCLEX is National Council Licensing Examination, and this is an examination which is done by nurses at different levels, from diploma level, BSN, Masters, PhD, and so on. We have two types of NCLEX. We have NCLEX-RN, which is RN is registered nurses. Then we have the NCLEX-PRN, the practical nurses. Those are the two types of NCLEX exams that one can do. Then why do we need this examination? So the NCLEX is done by nurses who would wish to practice in the United States, Canada, and Australia. The steps that one should go through to write this examination they are the same. So I would like to take you through the stages, because that's where most people that's the major question from most of the nurses, the steps. So we can divide the steps into three. One is about the verification of our credentials with body like cgfns, other people use Joseph Sirin, and advocates. So your documents must undergo the evaluation. So what do we need during this stage, during the evaluation stage, or stage number one? One, you must have acquired a diploma as the minimum qualification from any nursing school in the world. Can be Uganda, can be Kenya, can be Zambia, can be Zimbabwe, Nigeria. Then the other requirement is your license. You must have a license. You must have a license from your regulatory body. For example, here in Uganda, you must have a license from the Uganda Nurses and Midwifery Council of Uganda. So if you have those two documents, then you can open your account online, or you can contact me. My number is there in the link. You can reach out to me, you can write an email to me, and again I guide you on how to create the account. So we create the cgfns account, and this account has about 11 pages from your biodata. We go to employment. We have the license history, the license examination history, the English testing, the IELTS or the OET examination. But it's not a must that every state requires the English proficiency exam. There are just a few states that requires one to have written the English proficiency exam before writing the NCLEX. But some states they don't. You can write IELTS later alone during the visa screening, when you are processing your visa screening certificate. So after opening your account, you make the payment, and currently for cgfns we are paying $485. This payment is made online using your Visa card or MasterCard, wherever, but it's made online. So you make the payment, and then cgfns generates the forms, the cgfns forms. So one form is for the Nurses Council. You take that from the Nurses Council together with a photocopy of your practicing license. You attach and then take them to the Nurses Council. Then the other form, it is taken to your nursing school together with your school transcript. Then remember that the information must flow from the primary source to cgfns. So you don't have to send these documents by yourself. So when you take the form there to the school, make sure that you give them the money for sending. Most schools prefer sending documents by DHL or FedEx or even post office. But to myself, I used cgfns during my time because they're efficient in sending my documents. So I would highly recommend you to go for DHL. Then after cgfn receiving your documents and verifying them, you get what they call a CSC report. cgfn CSC report. This is a report that shows how the nurse studied, the schools you went through, and also the somewhere where they comment about your documents, whether they are equivalent to their standard. Then the CSC report is sent to the Board of Nursing that you would have chosen while making the payment, because you have to know the Board of Nursing that you would like to write the NCLEX from. Something important is that it's not a must that when you apply, for example, with Texas, you must work in Texas. No. You can always endorse your license in a different state. So it's not a must. Personally, I wrote my NCLEX exam with Texas Board of Nursing, but I later endorsed and I'm going to work in a different state. So that is stage 1 or step 1. Then step 2 is about the Board of Nursing. So USA has about it has 50 states, and each state has a right to manage the NCLEX exams. Each state has a board. So for example, if you decide to go for Texas Board of Nursing, what are the requirements? Somebody go for Illinois Board of Nursing. If you go for New Mexico State, it becomes New Mexico State of New Mexico Board of Nursing. So personally, I did with Texas Board of Nursing, and the requirements here were simple and easy on my behalf, though some people find it hard. For example, if you are going in for Texas Board of Nursing, you need to pay $75 for registration. All these payments are made online, so you open an account and then you pay $75. Immediately after paying, you'll have your status, your Texas Board of Nursing account status. So you click on your status and then view a number of requirements. And one of the requirements for Texas is that you must verify your license with your regulatory body from your country. For example, in Uganda, I had to verify my license with the Uganda Nurses and Midwifery Council. Then the other requirement was is that you have to do the fingerprints. You have to do the fingerprints, and you make the payment to Identigo, and the payment is $38.25. You must make that payment. When you make that payment, you receive the cards. Then you go to police, they capture your prints, and then you send those cards to USA. You send 2 copies of those cards, fingerprint cards, to USA. Then the other thing that you have to do with Texas is an exam. You must sit for an exam called NGE examination. This is an examination that you write from home, and the pass mark is 75%. It is 75%. Personally, I prepared for 1 day. I had to go online and read a few notes and watch some videos. Then I went in for my examination and passed it on my first attempt. So that is for Texas, but you may wish to go for other states. For example, when we decide to go for Illinois Board of Nursing, here you actually do the fingerprints, which costs you $60. You pay $6 to Passport USA. But Illinois has very many fingerprint vendors. You may go for any other vendor, but for US passport that I usually apply with for other people, we pay $60 for my students that I'm managing, because I also manage people's accounts. Then for Illinois Board of Nursing, we pay $107. We pay $107. Then after that, assuming we are done with our Board of Nursing, for example, if you decided to go for New Mexico or Illinois Board of Nursing or Texas Board of Nursing, you have the account and you read what was required and you did everything is done. What's the next step? So the next step is our third stage. Actually, as I told you earlier, that there are 3 stages. So we are done with the credential evaluation, we are done with the board of nursing of our choice. So the third and last stage is booking for our NCLEX exams, booking for the exams. So we book this exam with Pearson review. We book the exam with Pearson review, and the payment for booking currently is $200, and that's what I paid in 2022. Even up to right now, it is still $200. So you open an account with Pearson review and make that payment. The moment you make the payment, it takes about 2 weeks, for Pearson review to issue with the ATT. ATT is authorization to test. And it's indicated on their website that if you don't receive the ATT within 2 weeks, you have to contact them. So that means that's the highest time that one can wait for the ATT. But in most instances, the ATT is issued instantly, or after 12 hours, 24 hours, or even after 3 hours, you get your ATT, which is the authorization to test. So when you get the ATT, you have to look at its expiry. How long is that ATT going to take you? Right now, for Texas Board of Nursing, the ATT is taking 75 days. So that means if you are not ready to write this exam, you don't book it, because the moment you book, you get the ATT, which expires in 75, and this will disorganize you. Otherwise, you are supposed to book this exam when you are ready to go in for it. Then for Illinois Board of Nursing, they are taking 6 months. So they give you an expired date of 6 months. So you have a lot of time to prepare yourself and then go in and make it on your first attempt. So that is about booking the exam. You book the exam to get the ATT, which is the authorization to test. Then after that, we schedule the exam. Scheduling is getting the testing center where we would wish to write from. For example, in Africa, we only have one functional testing center. That's in South Africa, in Sandton City. So if you are in Africa, for example, you are from Kenya, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Nigeria, you have to know how much it costs for you to travel to South Africa. But we also have other testing centers across the world, many testing centers in India, many testing centers in UK, US, and even other parts of the world. So it's upon you to decide where you would wish to write your examination from. So you schedule the exam, and that means that you have to time you must time when you can get a study, you can get a worker leave, you get maybe a sick leave, or you can request your employer to give you a leave, such that you don't schedule the exam and then you fail to get time to prepare. Because the moment you schedule the exam, you must start preparing seriously. And I'm going to make another video explaining how I prepared for the NCLEX exams, such that you can have a clue on how you can make it, because there are many people outside there who still fears to start preparing for this exam. This exam is possible. It is possible. We've made many people to pass this examination. As I talk right now, we have made over 800 passes. So it's a doable exam. Then so after booking and scheduling, then the other question that people ask is that how much is required? How much is required for one to write the NCLEX examination? How much is required? Remember, I've told you for cgfns it is 485. So assuming we are taking Texas Board of Nursing. So for Texas you pay $75. Then you pay $38.25 for the fingerprints. Then the other amount that you can pay is $200 for booking. then you pay $150 for scheduling if you are scheduling within Africa. But if you are scheduling, if you want to write your exam from UK, then you pay $108. There is a $30 tax which is attached to that, so you pay $180. So in total, roughly, if someone is going in for Texas, you spend about $1,146 in the whole process. $1,146 for the whole process. And that is the process. So if you have any question, please feel free to put in the comment section, and I will be reviewing and giving you feedbacks. Thank you for watching my video. I remain Makoma Enrico. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel